the lions aren't sure what to make of some strange intruders. It's life or death for Banyu the otter baby when an accident sees him rushed into emergency surgery.
Hold on, what's that? Can you look at that?
And Christine must say goodbye to her oldest friend as the orangutans prepare to leave the zoo forever. There's a hive of activity at Auckland Zoo's rainforest. And the spider monkeys are putting on a show for a swarm of happy visitors. But in a nearby enclosure, Asian short-clawed otters Juno and Jana have kept a low profile since the birth of their babies.
Hello, little Otties. Hello.
But team leader Amy thinks the pups are finally ready to explore the world outside their den.
We've got our little otter family here and they're going to go outside for the first time today. The babies are 4 months old now, so they're really desperate to get outside.
Right in the heart of the zoo's rainforest, their outdoor enclosure is a perfect otter playground. It's also home to a troop of bonnet macaques. These shy monkeys usually prefer to keep to themselves, and Amy is hoping it stays that way.
We haven't had any problems with them so far with the adults, but the macaques have never seen the babies, so but we've got plans in place to keep them away.
It's been 5 years since baby otters were born anywhere in the region, and Amy and the team have been eagerly awaiting this day.
It's going to be so great to get these guys out and share them with the public because they're such amazing animals. They're so beautiful and they have the most beautiful little hands. So just to have a family of 4 out on display, playing in the moat and just bringing the bonnet macaque exhibit to life is going to be so fantastic.
Oh, there you are. Oh, little soft hands. Little hands.
It's time for the babies to make their first public appearance. The team ready themselves with rakes and hoses in case the macaques get cranky.
Okay, babies, let's go.
There's so much to explore.
But first-time mum Jana doesn't seem ready for her babies to be independent just yet. Baby Banyu injured his foot several weeks ago, and although he's fully recovered, overprotective Jana seems intent on carrying him around.
Oh, Jana, he's too big for that. Jana dragging Banyu around by the neck is a completely normal response. They're just getting a little bit too big for her because she's so small and they're getting so big. So that's just how they carry their young. She's not biting him, she just kind of throws him into the back of her jaws and tries to carry him along the ground just to kind of protect him. And because he's the one that's had the foot injury, she's especially protective of him. But they're doing great. She's kind of relaxed a little bit now, so it's good.
The pups seem to be enjoying their newfound freedom, but their flatmates, the bonnet macaques, are not thrilled to be sharing their patch. Unlike most monkeys, which are arboreal, macaques also like to hang out on the ground. And much to their annoyance, their turf has been subjected to an otter invasion.
Now that they've come up on land a bit further, the macaques have seen them and we can hear them sort of vocalising because they're seeing these 2 little tasty morsels, so we're keeping a close eye on them.
Banyu and Kanan have only recently grown their waterproof fur, ready for a lifetime of swimming. But otters aren't natural water babies. New mum Jana knows they'll need some encouragement whether they're ready or not.
Oh, here they come. It's so cute.
The water might be a shock, but it's not long before the pup's natural instinct kicks in and they swim like pros.
This is going so well, way better than we could have hoped. Yeah, as soon as Jana got over the initial, my babies are outside, and stopped trying to drag them back in, they've all just gotten really brave all of a sudden and gone right down to the water and jumped straight in. So that was so awesome.
It's so lovely, isn't it, to see a group, to
Yeah.
see a family of them.
Yeah.
It is so neat.
Yeah.
Oh, here they come. Here they
wanna
go.
get
Oh,
past?
where are you going? Oh, let's move past.
You want to get past? You can. Feel free.
That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's been a big first outing, and it seems everyone is ready to head back to the safety of the den. ready for another adventure tomorrow. Around the zoo, it's playtime, and some of the animals are full of beans. Over at the lion pad, keepers Nat and Catherine have brought the 5 big cats inside to show them what they've got in store for them today.
All right, so this is our pride of lions. We've got 2 males and 3 females, and we are a non-breeding group here, so we're not planning on having any cubs in the immediate future. Because there's not sort of that activity of young ones around all the time, it's a little bit of a challenge to come up with new and exciting ideas to keep these guys occupied and get them running around a wee bit. And Catherine had the idea of making some pinatas, and we're going to stuff them full of meat. Instead of lollies, they're going to have meat-filled pinatas. Yeah, put them as high as you can.
Yeah.
Keep them climbing. Cool.
Yeah. You go for it. Oh, I'm not good at climbing, so I'll probably fall out and break my leg.
So in the wild, lions come across so many different things on a day-to-day basis, and they're getting a lot of stimulation, whether it's other animals or weather or whatever. So here, our challenge is to try and bring that stimulation into the zoo. We have managed to find some African animals, but we're a bit limited at the pinata shop, and Catherine over there's got a jandal, but hey, they're Kiwi lions, so it's summer. You know, something different. We're going to stuff them with meat, so you know, there's going to be sort of more interest than if we just put them out by themselves. There's going to be something that they really want in there.
A bit of blood juice is added and the party pinatas are ready to go.
Where are you going to put it, Nat?
I'll try and get as high as I can, so I'll try this fork up here.
Yeah.
While Nat does the hard yard setting up, she has a good idea who'll do all the work when the pride comes out.
In the wild, it's actually the females that do all the hunting, and here at the zoo, they're also the best hunters, they're the best climbers. So I'm picking that the girls are going to go up high for them, and yeah, the boys will probably just wait for the girls to get them down, and then they'll rip into them. Oh, that should just about do it. This should be fun, let them out.
The pride of lions heads out and instantly smells something new in their enclosure. Sun-loving Lazarus steps up to take the first bite.
There you go, Laz, go for your jandal first.
He's a good Kiwi lion.
As the lionesses approach, it seems their natural hunting instinct might not be tuned in to breakfast a la pinata. But the smell of the meat inside gets the better of them. Kira has a go at the butterfly, while the others cautiously watch to make sure that it doesn't bite back. Having proven that he can handle the jandal, Lazarus goes hunting for his next prize. And he makes sure it can't run away.
Like chicken wings.
The rest of the deer is no match for 200 kilograms of hungry lion.
But what Laz has done there is, because he's the dominant male, he's the leader of the group, because he's the boss, he gets to eat all the good food, and that's exactly what's happened. That's good. That's what little scrap was about. Oh, they're finished with that. They're going to go have a wee sleep now.
Oh, no, wee nap.
I'm sure they'll come back, and I mean, there's still meat around, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get that when they when they finish being lazy.
Lions can sleep up to 20 hours a day, and it seems the festivities have exhausted them, at least for the moment.
It's been good to give them something new, and you know, they haven't seen these before, and they've also now got a choice. They've got a choice to go for the other ones or not, so even that in itself is good for them. And you know, who knows, after they had a bit of a sleep, they might come back and finish them off.
While the lions sleep off their lunch, up at the vet clinic, team leader Amy and senior vet John are dealing with a serious problem.
So that's a complete fracture through the femur. It's not quite mid-shaft, it's a bit what we call proximal, up towards the hip joint. But there seems to be one problem when we're doing these is to make sure there's enough bone at each end, and I think there's probably enough.
One of the precious new baby otters was rushed to the clinic last night with a nasty leg break.
So, is this straightforward?
It's probably as straightforward as major fractures go, yeah. Ish is right, yeah. I don't know how, I've never done this in an otter. I've done lots of cats with similar fractures, and they tend to heal very well. I think a little otter should go well. Anyway, I better get away and get ready for surgery, so we'll see you soon.
Good luck. We found him at the end of the day yesterday with his little back leg all kind of screwed up and not being able to weight bear on it, and when we picked him up and had the vets examine him, they could feel kind of a crunching. So he's just about to have surgery to pin it back together, but we're all quite shocked.
Go to sleep, little boy.
Over at the table, the vet team has put Banyu to sleep, ready for his surgery. But first, John has to remove a major risk of infection.
One thing, particularly with bone surgery, is that we have to be very careful we don't get any bugs in the wound, because if you get a bone infection, it's very difficult to deal with. And so prevention's the best cure, so we just take plenty of hair off.
Otters have around 100,000 hairs per square centimetre, making even this simple process rather tricky.
John's still shaving and there's still stuff coming off, so that's amazing. That's just how they get their waterproofing. They've just got such a thick coat underneath. He's going to have to regrow it, otherwise when he gets in the water he's going to freeze.
Banyu has had a run of bad luck, having already injured 1 foot before this fracture. But Amy suspects that the injuries might be related.
Since he hurt his front foot, Jana, his mum's been extra protective, and she carries him around and throws him over her shoulder. So I'd say she's probably chucked him in the air and thrown him into the pool or something, and that's how he's broken his back leg.
After a quick vacuum to get rid of the last traces of hair, Banyu is ready for surgery. The operation is risky. It's crucial that bacteria don't get into the bone while the break is being repaired. So Banyu is moved to a sterile room.
I'm really hoping that this goes well, because there's not a lot of options left for Banyu if it doesn't. We can't amputate his leg because a 3-legged otter would not give him a very good quality of life at all. He needs that leg for swimming and for moving around on the ground. We need to be able to reintroduce him back to his family, which is another issue, and if none of that works or is successful, then he's going to have to be euthanized. So there's a lot riding on this, and we're really hoping for the best case scenario.
With so much at stake, John and the vet team have no room for error. A tiny metal pin is inserted into the bone to fuse the broken shards together. No easy task in such a small and fragile animal.
Yeah, this has been quite tricky. There's not really a lot of bone to work with there, and it tends to make them inherently unstable when they've been repaired, so we're going to have to be pretty careful with the aftercare with this guy. All the soft tissue will heal very quickly. It's the bone we have to worry about.
Finally, John must check that the pin is perfectly placed in Banyu's tiny thigh bone.
The pin's as well positioned as it could be. We're just going to cut the top of the pin off now and leave that bone to heal. Done.
Surgery has gone well, and Banyu is now back in one piece.
Okay, Nicole, looks like he's waking up again, so better pop him back in the box. All done well. Good anaesthetic.
Banyu can now begin his long road to recovery.
That went really well. The vets did a great job of putting him all back together again and putting the pin in his leg, so now all we've got to do is just keep him really nice and still and quiet, and so he'll recover really well. So we're just really proud of the team for the job they did. I'm really grateful that they could save his little leg.
Such a brave little otter.
Auckland Zoo is always a great place to see families enjoying each other's company. Tucked away in the rainforest, otter family Juno, Jana and their son Kanan are cooling off in their den. It's a big day for the group as their other son finally returns from an extended stay in the vet clinic.
This is little Banyu in here, our otter with the bung leg, and Banyu's been separated from his parents for 4 weeks now. Banyu's mum Jana is very overprotective and she tries to carry him around a lot, so we were worried that if we put them back together straight away that she would do that and drag him around and then his leg would get injured again.
Banyu's leg has now healed enough to withstand a bit of roughhousing from mum. Otters don't take well to long separations, so Amy is keen to get them back together as quickly as possible.
Today's the day that we're going to reintroduce them, so fingers crossed it goes really well. There is the potential that it could all turn to custard and his parents reject him, so we're just going to put out a whole lot of food and enrichment for them to try and keep them a bit occupied.
If Banyu's parents are aggressive and damage his fragile leg, there is little hope that he will ever be able to live with them again. A lonely otter is not an option, so a lot rides on today's integration.
Okay, little family.
Okay, babies, let's go.
Yay, bubbles.
He's a bit apprehensive, isn't he?
Yeah.
The food is working well to distract mum and dad, but even Banyu seems worried what they'll do when the food dries up.
What are you doing?
Suddenly, Banyu decides to take control of the situation and demands some attention from mum.
Banyu, don't you hurt yourself anymore. There aren't many options left.
As his confidence increases, he moves on to his brother to remind him who's boss.
Okay. Oh, careful. Maybe it's a dominance thing too. Yeah. Yep. So relieved. This was, we had everything riding on this. So I think our plan has worked really well, and it was really risky, and we haven't done this before, and usually if you take an otter out and it's out for as long as he was, you don't usually get it back in, but I think we've just been very, very fortunate, and I think if they had really rejected him, we would have seen it straight away. They would have been really aggressive to him. So yeah, we're really stoked.
But the keepers will have a close eye on the family for a while yet.
When we start to manage them as we were, moving them back and forward and putting them outside, that's when we're really going to see the potential for Jana to get really overprotective and him perhaps to say, back off lady, and there might be a bit of aggression there. But I would say we're home and hosed, I would think.
Over at the orangutans, there's been no such drama for 4-year-old Maju and his family. But next door, the oldest family at the zoo are about to experience a huge upheaval. Horst, Indra and their daughter Intan will soon be moving across the other side of the world, to Busch Garden Zoo in Florida. Keepers Courtney, Amy and Christine have the job of preparing them for the enormous move, which will be heartbreaking, particularly for Christine, who has worked with the family for almost 3 decades.
So this is Indra, and we have known each other for a good 26 odd years. I remember when she first came to the zoo. I was reminiscing the other day, looking through all my old photographs, and I got this lovely one of Indra and I when she was in quarantine. So she was about 3 years old there. And obviously you can see that we're both very much younger. I've got not a grey hair in sight. And then I sort of realised just how long I've been looking after her. Indra, what's that? Do you want to have a look at that? What's that?
But
Is
for
that you?
Christine, saying goodbye isn't going to be easy.
I mean, we've known each other for such a long time that, you know, she's basically like a friend. I mean, you can't sort of... Sorry. You can't sort of know someone for 26 odd years without having some emotion. And I mean, Florida is such a long way away. And you sort of know very well that I'll probably never get to see her again. Looking at me going, what on earth are you doing, woman?
While Christine is coming to terms with life without Indra, next door Amy is spending time with her favourite big man, Horst.
I'm really sad that Horsty's going. It was a really hard decision to make to send him away, but You right there. These guys are here not for purely for our enjoyment. They're here for the good of their species, and they're ambassadors for their species.
Part of conserving the species means that any breeding must be carefully managed to strengthen the gene pool. Horst's genes are hugely valuable, and when he hits Florida, he will be the top breeding male in America.
Although it's going to be just the hardest day to say goodbye, they're just going on to such an exciting future, and that's what we've got to keep thinking about is the future. Hey, buddy.
As the troop heads outside for one of the last times, Amy and Christine try to look on the sunny side.
Hopefully they won't get this sort of weather in Florida.
Yeah, at least they're going to a warm climate.
Yes, yes.
If it rains, it's warm rain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But the team is going to find it almost impossible to keep the optimistic spirit when they have to send the family off on a plane bound for Florida in a few days' time.